Hi, I'm Mike. I'm a veterinarian or veterinary surgeon and Blender addict. The aim of this tutorial is to clear up any confusion you may have regarding the anatomy of legs and arms of various species. Hopefully it'll be simple and enlightening. I'm starting with this critter I made. It's a quadruped, meaning it walks on all fours. It is also a digitigrade species, meaning it bears its weight on its digits. Digits are fingers and toes. So although it has hands, wrists, heels and ankles, these are not in contact with the ground when travelling. Okay, compare this with another critter I've made. This might be a horse, but it too is a quadruped. It is not digitigrade, it is unguligrade. Now, each finger or toe consists of 3 bones or phalanges. In the case of unguligrades, the standing weight is borne on the nail or claw of the 3rd phalanx, the hoof. There are 2 types of ungulate: even-toed with 2 weight-bearing toes, such as cattle, pigs, camels, hippos, and odd-toed ungulates with either 1 weight-bearing toe, the horse family, or 3 weight-bearing toes, rhinoceroses. And I can't resist mentioning the tapir, which is an ungulate. It's 3-toed at the front and 4-toed at the back. All of these ungulates still have structures relating to hands, wrists, heels and ankles. Then we come to those animals which bear the whole of their weight on the foot or the hand, from toe to heel and finger to wrist. A plethora of examples: bears, badgers, otters, stoats and weasels, rodents, rabbits and hares, and all their relatives. These are the plantigrades, from the Latin planta, soul, gradi, take steps. Which brings me neatly on to the best known plantigrade of the animal kingdom, the biped known as Homo sapiens. Bipedalism largely evolved to make the forelimbs available for other purposes. In the case of humans, to further develop the use of hands and fingers, but in birds to develop flight, and in some dinosaurs like T-Rex and kangaroos, wallabies, jerboas, I have no idea. Anyhow, back to the birds. They are digitigrade bipeds. A common misconception is that they have backward-facing knees. They don't. Their knees are situated high up the leg, tucked into the body. What people mistake for their knees is their ankles. And how about this for comparison? The hand of a person compared to the hand of a bird. Okay, let's look at joints. There is a long list of joint types, but put simply, they carry out 3 main functions. They enable limbs to flex and extend. They enable them to abduct and adduct. And they enable them to rotate. The master joints are surely the hips and shoulders, joints that move in all directions, forwards and backwards, side to side, and rotation. The very action of rotating the foot comes not only from rotating the ankle, which is quite limited, but from rotating the hip. Try it. The wide range of movement is most obvious in the shoulders of bipeds, and most limited in the shoulders and hips of the large quadrupeds. And at this point it's worth noting that the whole forelimb is free-floating. It's not connected to the rest of the skeleton by bones, unlike the hind limb, but by muscle. This means that during locomotion, in quadrupeds the whole leg can move separately from the body. A good example is seen in cats, particularly cheetahs. Another omnidirectional joint is that between the head and the neck. And let's not forget the carpometacarpal joint between the hand and the finger. Next are what might be called the 2-dimensional joints, joints that in Blender terms move principally in the right or left orthographic plane. The main contenders are the elbows in the fore or upper limbs and the knees in the hind or lower. To a lesser degree, the ankles, toes and fingers also qualify in this hinge group, while the wrists are a bit special and warrant more attention later. These joints are principally involved in flexion and extension, and any side-to-side or rotational movement is small. Flexion is when the joint angle reduces, extension when it widens. As a rule, these joints can flex from the resting position more than they can extend. Overextension is limited by tendons, ligaments, muscles and bone, and other joint constraints. Then there are the joints which can not only flex and extend, but can move from side to side as well, and maybe throw in a little rotation. Although the finger and toe bones, the digits, can be quite adaptable, I'm referring to the carpal joint of the forelimbs, the wrist. It's a highly variable joint, ranging in complexity from humans, where it is made up of 8 small bones tightly held together by ligaments, to, for example, birds, where there are only 2 bones which interconnect in such a way that the joint is fine-tuned to enable flight. Highly sophisticated movements can be achieved in bipeds, birds and primates, quite sophisticated in paw-bearing quadrupeds like cats, squirrels, etc., but basic in ungulates like horses and behemoths like elephants. The corresponding joint in the hind or lower limb is the tarsus, otherwise known as the hock, or the ankle. It's a combination of 6 small bones in Homo sapiens, but only 1 fused conglomerate in birds. In most land mammals, its main function is to flex and extend like the knee and the elbow. However, some arboreal animals have much more mobile ankle joints, notably bush babies, primates in general, and everybody's favourite, the pen-tailed tree shrew. The really unique joint in the forelimbs, and the most difficult to explain, is that between the 2 arm bones, the radius and ulna, a gliding pivot joint. It enables pronation and supination, outward and inward rotation or twisting of the arm, which translates to the wrist and turns the hand, which turns the fingers. A really amazing piece of engineering. And there you have a year's worth of anatomy condensed into about 7 minutes. Please forgive me if I've left anything out.